when Jesus goes into Jericho, it says that Zacchaeus climbed a sycamore tree. Well, okay, so what? Well, actually, it's really interesting because sycamore trees only grow. If you take the whole map of the country, put about 3 dots on it, and that would be places where sycamore trees grow. I got to study with some really remarkable, brilliant people in regards to Middle Eastern religion. So that would be Judaism and Islam and culture there. Of course, I got to live in the culture, so I got to learn it that way also. And then I got to take classes in historical geography of the Bible, in an organized way. And then I got to just spend 24 years driving around the country, popping into places and just sort of being like, oh, well, this is where David and Goliath fought. Let's read the story. Oh, this is where, whatever, name the place, and kind of read it in context. And over time doing that, both doing organized study and sort of personal study and just exploration, you begin to sort of network things together in your head, basically I sort of have the map of the Bible is up there because that's the geography I drove around in and walked around in for 24 years and, would read the stories, in context of where I was and delve into what happened there. And I mean, something you need to know about Israel to just understand it at all is that it's a land of extreme contrasts. So, just arriving from the airport, you land in Tel Aviv, which is at sea level, obviously it's by the sea. And then you drive up to Jerusalem, which is a little bit less than 3,000 feet above sea level. So you go up 3,000 feet and it's different. You go from a warm, a little bit humid coastal climate up to arid and significantly colder in the winter, just by being 3,000 feet higher. Then you carry on another 15 miles or so and you drop down to 1,300 feet below sea level in Jericho. And now it's hot and tropical. No, it's not tropical, but it's tropical heat and desert. And they can grow, bananas and oranges down there. Whereas in Jerusalem, you can't, so there's just intense geographic variation, which leads to variation in, rainfall totals and temperatures and what you can grow and what you can't. And all of that plays into the stories. Sometimes it's little really tiny details. For instance, when Jesus goes into Jericho, it says that Zacchaeus climbed a sycamore tree. Well, okay, so what? Well, actually, it's really interesting because sycamore trees only grow. If you take the whole map of the country and put about 3 dots on it, and that would be places where sycamore trees grow because they need heat and water. And generally speaking, in Israel, when you're in low places, it's really hot, but it's also desert, so there's not water. But in Jericho, because there's springs, you get lots of groundwater, then they can grow. And it just happens to be one of the spots, right? So you have all these little details that kind of pop when you've been there. And
those are things that when you're reading the text, you almost gloss over them.
Yeah,
but then when you're with you, they become central.
Well, I hope so. With a certain amount of knowledge, then they do. And for me, they're very faith affirming because it's a little detail, but that couldn't have been added, hundreds of years later by someone monkeying around the text. They wouldn't have known that. Yeah. And even just the routes that people take when they travel, maybe it's, it says David went from Bethlehem to, this cliff overlooking the valley of Elah. Well, that ridgeline runs perfectly in a straight line. That's not hard, right. When you go there. And so you could see how a teenage boy could manage that, you and his father would let him do it. So there's just lots of details. Yeah. When you've been there, they pop out, they're faith affirming. Sometimes they add something to the story that wasn't obvious until you'd seen that. And also culture, helps you understand what's going on sometimes. So all of that are what I hope happens over the course of these podcasts. Hey guys, if you like our content, please click like and subscribe. That really helps us out a lot. And then also go to thelandinthebible.com and subscribe for premium content. And that really helps us. It helps us generate more content. And also half of it goes to help us go overseas and help refugee kids is what we're really called to do.